To do a back-to-back today. Yeah, so I was just reading a book as I was sipping my kahawa, and it inspired this video, and that's the importance of living out the system for your growth and to not be affected by what's going on in the world. And like me right now, I could be in any location around the globe, around all 7 continents, and I'm completely unaffected by the system and unaffected by what's going on politically. And I speak from a political sense, because when you are unaffected from a political sense, you're unaffected by what affects people outdoors, because a lot of people, especially most people, don't have an abundance mindset. So you engage, and this is why I stay alone and do this, because you engage in conversation with the common person, or let me say the everyday person outside. It's the fuel prices are too high, there's no jobs out here right now. I'm not trying to engage in that, because that rubs off on you from an energetic standpoint. So I'd rather stay with animals, I'd rather stay with nature, because a lot of people speak on lack, and it's not their fault. Some people that obviously they don't realize that they're doing it, but when you feed into the news is typically political, and political is typically of the negative sense, fear mongering. This isn't going well, this isn't looking good. Like, for example, my accent, it's a UK accent. I couldn't tell you who the prime minister or the prime minister is in the UK. You couldn't pay, if you offered me $1 million, I would get it wrong, I'd lose $1 million. Like, I do not care what is going on over there. I don't care what's going on in the US. I don't care what's going on wherever in the world, because all that's important is where I am right now. And the thing is, for example, just to bring up a political situation, and this is how I was throughout COVID. I didn't believe in COVID. I didn't care about the numbers. COVID wasn't in my reality, and they wanted us to feed into it so much. And throughout COVID, I was all over the world. I was in America, I was in Africa, and the way, especially in Africa, they fed into it so much. And COVID didn't, like, in terms of the even statistical numbers of COVID, it had no serious impact in many, many African countries and states. Yet they just followed the West. But it was not part of my reality. Of course, I wore a face mask, and I had to do the occasional nasal thing when wanting to travel and stuff. But as much as I could, I paid for fake slips, I paid for fake all of this, because I didn't. So when they talk about injection, jab, I was just thinking, this is nonsense. And even people that did get jabbed, I don't want to make this video too political, even now they're like, maybe I didn't need to do that. So it's just a lot of fear mongering. So Russia, Ukraine, my heart goes out to people there. But the thing is, that is not my reality. That doesn't exist to me. I've never been to Russia. I've never been to Ukraine. Whatever I see on TV, whatever you see on TV, nothing is real except what you can see with your 2 eyes physically. Nothing on the screen is real. Even me, I could be AI generated. Like, we feed so much into world news, political news. It's unimportant. The only thing I would say that you should be concerned about, to an extent, is what's going on in your immediate environment, your immediate politics. World politics doesn't mean anything. Most people are so concerned with what's happening in, what's the other recent one that I've heard? I'm so out of the loop, I don't even know. Something to do with, the Palestine situation. Never been to Palestine. Don't even know what a Palestinian is. So it's just that mindset shift. Like, a lot of this stuff's not important. And people in Palestine, for example, I'm in Africa right now, people in Palestine, they aren't concerned with what's going on in Africa. Before whatever's going on now and after what's going on now, they're not concerned. So all that's important to me is what's going on in my immediate environment. If I leave the situation here, everything, I operate outside the system. I earn money in dollars, pounds, euros, take that and utilize it overseas. And I utilize it overseas. The political climate or whatever's going on here, left, right, center, has no impact in my making money abilities. Unless they said, look, everybody with this type of bank account, every single time you get paid, you're going to lose 30% unless you vote for these guys. Like, that's when I need to get involved. And if it ever comes to that situation, like, it doesn't impact my money making abilities, whoever's in power, Donald Trump, whoever, all these people, it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect my performance. It's not going to affect my training. It's not going to affect my spiritual. I am completely tapped out from that world. I don't put energy towards it. I don't pay any mind. So, that's just a mindset shift. Like, people say, it's important to know what's going on. Why? Like, how is it important? My life's perfectly fine being completely tuned out, operating completely out of the system. So, if you can explain to me how it would benefit my physical training, how it would benefit my discipline from knowing what's going on in a part of the world that I'm not even in, like, that make it make sense. So there was a situation I was in, this must have been about 2024, and in the situation I was in, people started rioting, like with serious riots, out on the street, serious riots, like everybody's like feeding into the emotion, watching the news every night. I saw the rioting, like I experienced the rioting. I didn't watch the news once. I just know how to move. I'm streetwise. Obviously, I know how to operate. Again, everything I do is from a survival perspective. When you're in a place where, excuse me, you don't have family, and you don't really have friends, like you need to know how to operate. Everything you do must be with purpose and intention. At least that's how I operate. Like there's some travel vloggers that will go out on the street, and this is why you probably will never see me going there, even though I've traveled the world. You'll never see me like with my phone walking outside. Like again, I absolutely cannot do that in some of the places that I visit. Those experiences are for me, respectfully. I encourage you to go out into the world and experience it for yourself. Another reason I don't take drugs anymore overseas. I used to. Had some great experiences, but it's not something that I would do. But just in general, just being outside of the system, operating outside of the system, your aura is going to be magnified. Like this person is unaffected by what's going on. You'll never hear me complain about the economy. You'll never hear me complain about the fuel price, because as your energy continues to rise, your money will continue to rise. And like a lot of the time, if you have an abundance of money and you have an abundance mindset in general, all these petty small things that everyday people are complaining about doesn't affect you, and it shouldn't affect you. Like, so you always hear, if you see everybody running left, run right. Like you absolutely don't want to go and follow whatever the crowd is doing. Like it's so important, and it took me a long time to like train myself out of that common herd mentality. But absolutely not. Just in terms of the way I operate, I'm just not with it. But yeah, there's so many benefits that come from operating outside of the system. You don't need to know what's going on. Like I have a couple uncles and a couple people that be like, oh no, you need to watch the news, you need to watch the news. It's like, no, I don't. How about you stop watching the news for 30 days and see how it benefits your mind, see how it benefits your positivity, see how it benefits your spirit, see how it benefits your finances. Like if you stop watching the news and stop feeding into the common emotion, and be careful of social media apps that feed it to you because they know what you like to see. Like me, I'm a basketball fan, they will show me basketball because they want to keep you on there as long as possible. So they'll do whatever they need to do. The algorithm is manipulation. So you got to be careful. And essentially, if you stop doing that for 30 days, you'll see that benefits you. And like you don't need to tune into it and be like all over it. But yeah, that's the message. Be a dweller, operate outside of the system, and it will benefit you.